Welcome, everyone. To Roll for Insight. Oh, now, okay, Kaporin is correct placement now. Now you just fucked everything I was about to fix up. As I quickly try and move people in correct positions. Welcome! Roll for Insight, thing we do. Saturdays, where we talk about stuff and things. Just an open discussion between characters, players, characters, DM, and all the Venn diagram. Usually me, myself, or I was going to say me, myself, and Polly, but myself or Polly is usually the host of these RFIs. We've changed our RFI schedules to be more in line with Group 2, which is going to be coming online tomorrow, Session 1. That should be exciting. But we're going to be cutting back some of the RFIs to once, maybe twice a month. Because it's just a bit, as no one would ever say, too much D&D, but it's a bit too much for my wife for D&D. And so I need at least a couple full weekends off where I can commit to home life. But nevertheless, we have Nori, Amric, Bryn, and Kaporin here with us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. A lot of conversations get to be had today, and I'm sure some questions need to get answered that may have been forgotten or, for time constraints, left out. But we'll go ahead and start with one of the first questions that I have for everyone, and that is Illunaid. He's alive.
Yay!
And he has
that motherfucker
fully ascended into godhood now. And relaying to you all that he is the only god, and that this plane is his material plane, and his godly plane from now until probably forever. So how does everyone feel about that?
How long have you been sitting on that?
How long I've been sitting on Illunaid?
Yeah.
I knew from the moment that your Polly's mom interceded the battle that that's what happened. So, as far as Illunaid becoming full god, he did so. So the last time that you talked to Laverne, he had already ascended. So that was like a week in game or something like that, or a few days, 4 days in game. Because I know you did it on the island before you guys went on the quest.
I think it was the day before we left the town. He had called Laverne one last time before we left.
Yeah.
After we got supposed to get kicked out.
But it wasn't getting kicked out. It was more of you should probably leave before the crew realizes that you guys were responsible for all that. But yeah, so he had already ascended then, and he ascended, I think, like a week or so before that. It's just everything was still kept hush-hush, especially once the magic started doing some fuckery. Because then it was, since he was the first god to ascend on the material plane, it's a big deal between all the gods, obviously. And then the fact that another up-and-coming god is creeping up right behind, it becomes that's coincidental timing. And so, as far as the gods go, some are thinking that he is in league with whoever is coming up. Because, oh, you became a god, and now all of a sudden this other person, almost at the same exact time, is becoming a god? So, that's what's going on with that. But how does it... I mean, Polly's probably the biggest one that we need to hear about how he feels.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it was definitely surprising, but I might be kind of over dramatizing it. But I definitely felt like, because Polly said a couple times that he didn't want to go home, and it definitely felt like that was one of the main issues that he had specifically with his mom was that kind of happened,
Mhm.
and to learn that's a lie.
A lie for the best of reasons.
Yeah, but she could have told me anyway.
You were told that sendings are being monitored.
He doesn't remember that. Neither do I.
Sendings are being monitored.
Yeah, Bella told us when she came back from through the portal that we should be really careful with our sendings because they've been listening on both ends. And Valek actually told me. Valek?
Yeah.
Valek told me the same thing, that we should be very careful.
Well, he didn't remember that. But as far as Illidan goes, he kind of, I downplayed it last night, but he was like kind of in the background, like nervously fidgeting and like trying to, he wanted to get his attention, but he didn't want to be in the way. So he just kind of stood back and stood next to Trinity to get quiet and stuff. But yeah, he was like, you're training your dog and the dog's super excited about something, but it knows that it has to wait for you to say it's okay. That's what he was like. His tail was wagging. He was just so excited to see him and really wanted to talk to him, but nobody gave him the chance to do it. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll just sit here.
Doing the vibrating of trying to hold it all in.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's not gonna give up Brulison or anything. He's just he's really happy that everything worked out in a good way.
So, that's Amric, that's Polly. What does Brand think besides that asshole?
I knew you'd like, but more of like, not even that asshole. Like, this is how you would fucking come back. Like, you would try to scare the shit out of it. Like, with the whole like, oh, he was my betrothed bullshit. She's like, God fucking damn it. Should have expected this.
Yeah, she's his wife. You don't think he's rubbed off on her a little bit in the sense of wanting to pull pranks and...
Oh, no, yeah. And she, like, and especially knowing his antics, like, she really hasn't been worried that he's been dead, because she's like, nah, he's fine. It's Elenade. Like, he's gonna figure a way to weasel his way out of that. Like, he's dead? No. Like, he's gonna go. He's not gonna go down without a fight, and he's gonna
quietly
fight like that. Yeah, he's gonna dance his way out. So it was more of a, I should have expected that.
Then we'll move to Caperin, since he was dancing with me.
Oh no.
What do you think about Illuminate?
Yay, I'm glad he's not dead. He's been a real fun character to interact with in and out of our trouble. Oh no, he's the god of the material plane, and I just learned major facts about my father right now, and I'm just like, oh shit. If anything goes down, he's the god of the plane, so he's gonna get involved no matter what.
Well, I mean, he's still a god, so even though he likes you guys and some followers, some of you may be his followers, he's still the god of the plane. So he's not going to be involved with everything. In fact, with him ascending to godhood, expect him to be in your lives a lot less than when he was a demigod. So there's sort of that trade-off.
Responsibilities.
Yeah, more of, especially with this new god in the Up and Rising, like, if that person is a bad person that's becoming a god, then he's got to try and kill it. But if that person is a bad person and they become a god, they're probably going to want to try and kill him. And since he's becoming a god so much faster than Illinade is, it's pretty safe to assume that Illinade's really worried how he's doing it, and if that's going to continue after they become a god. So it's kind of like this.
Buddy just said something. Hold on, I'll be right back.
No worries. So it's very much like a tense situation, not only for the magic stuff and all the countries pretty much getting ready to fight each other for no reason. Well, not for no reason, but for reasons that they can't understand. And Illidan being a god now can't just like appear at every, high government establishment and be like, hey, that magic thing, it's just another god coming up in the works. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to take care of it. By the way, I'm the new god. So he can't really intercede, and though he would love to just be able to explain it to all the countries.
Here's my card.
Yeah. Here's my flower. Pray to that bitch when you want to talk. And don't kill each other.
I would really appreciate a god warming gift.
I need Saturdays to be dance days. Just
Or twerker, you get smited.
I do have new paladins with the oath of throwing it back. I love
I know exactly who you're quoting.
Yeah, what's his
one
shot questers?
One shot.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. That may or may not have imprinted upon me what Illidan was going to be the god of.
Oh, speaking of that, did you find what it actually was?
It's actually the god of neutrality and dancing.
Yeah, that makes sense now for Bryn, the neutral part.
Yeah. That's why, because Illidan used to be the leader of the neutral gods before he got cursed into his situation. And because he was one of the few that wanted to break out of the neutral situation and assist the gods of the good and lawful alignments against the Titans in the evil and chaotic alignments. Not technically chaotic alignments, but the evils of the fiends and demons. Because the good side was losing, and like Trilithia was, they were together, and she was on the good side of things, and she basically asked him, like, hey, can you help? And he was like, I'm not supposed to, but fuck it. And because let's be honest, he's not the god
I'm
of
not supposed to, but fuck it is
about as
that's Illidan.
Yeah. If we had to like hard label him, and this probably has changed over the years, when he was a god, he was the god of neutrality and dancing. It's probably changed since he's gone through his whole situation. And so if we had to give him something, it's probably the god of chaotic neutrality and dancing, because that's definitely where Illidan fits into things. But yeah, it was during that fight that he switched sides, and so the god it was actually at that specific time he was fighting Asmodeus, the god of plagues, and the 12th demon sect lord. And that's when, as he was putting people down, he was able to banish Asmodeus. He took down the 12th lord, and it was the god of plagues that cursed him before he died, and actually used his last breath to curse Illidan with his whole pulling the souls out of his body and pushing him down into a demigod status and having to relive his life over and over and over again.
Bad dudes.
Yep. And as he was decaying, that's when Trilithia learned of the curse and sent her champion Valak to be his custodian. And so she basically gave Valak the same curse, but with the ability to learn his memories instead. Whereas Illidan had to get to a certain point, usually about the 200-year range, before he would remember anything from his past. Valak could do it by puberty. So, all that aside, one more question, and then I'll open it up for you guys to give me questions, or vice versa, or give each other questions. Nori, the last heathen to finally join the group. My main question actually is this, because obviously I had the interaction with you, and we've talked about what your arm does and what your next step is. I don't know if you've told anyone or if you want to break the news to chat and everything now, you can go ahead and do so. But my main question is, now looking back on it, obviously if you would have known Mithrandir had a solution to the mirror a long time ago, you would have jumped on it like hot potatoes. But for one of the very few times where you actually rolled decently low on perception, you didn't realize that was Mithrandir walking next to you in the forest, because I think you rolled like a 13.
Yeah, I can't roll a 13.
You rolled a 2, basically, so whatever your modifier was at that point.
So 17.
It was 20 to see him, because he's ethereal. So, I mean, not ethereal, but he was just outline. So it was hard to gauge exactly who he was. But you at least saw him. But now knowing that was Mithrandir, did that influence your decision at all to sort of accept this deal? I know you said you'd been thinking about it already, but knowing that, because he had said that he's going to be around for whenever you decide, but then knowing that, he was even like more around than I truly understood. Like, to be funny, like the whole parable of walking on the ocean, walking on the shore with God.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, hey, shit's going down. Because if you look back at that time, you were just crying, just having a heart, like breaking down internally, even though away from everyone. But now knowing that Mithrandir was probably, like, he was there, but he was even manifested and hanging around just in case. Did that affect your decision at all?
So in the moment, learning about that, I don't think Nori had already halfway decided that her only hang up was the metal thing. That was literally it. She liked everything he was saying. It intrigued her in a way that none of the other gods had before. She felt a weird sort of trust that she, again, hadn't had with any other god she's interacted with. And the major thing is that he fully gave her a choice. In comparison with Trentimir, she felt like she had to. Although he did technically give her a choice, it's, I have to do this because my mentor did this. It wasn't her choice, it was her being, I'm going to do what someone else wants. Mm-hmm. And then with the technically god thing, her arm getting taken over by wood, that was just parasitic. It was going to kill her. Mm-hmm. So those are her two, experiences. And then for him, it's like, you have a choice, fully open-ended. I'm chill with whatever you do. That's probably what made it be her actually thinking about it. And I said in session, part of me decided that when I first talked to you. So, gotcha. And then knowing that as well just kind of solidified things for her. Mm-hmm. So that was the case with Mithrandir. And I have taken 1 level in Nature Cleric. So
Nori is multi-classed.
I have multi-classed, both because it fits thematically with Nori kind of getting a god. And the other thing is, I can't level up too much more in Druid. And if we're going to do a lot of things, I need what I can get.
Yeah.
So it had both story and mechanical bonuses. Win-win.
It's a win-win. All right. Now, any burning questions anyone has for me? As my dogs go crazy in the background.
Nothing for you specifically.
Anything for each other.
Go
How do you all feel? Oh God! Like, hi.
You guys talk. I'm gonna deal with my dogs.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to ask your question first?
I feel like the same question's gonna come up. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask how Kaporin felt, because he's been on the end of our group not being very happy with him a couple times, but you got officially God scolded last session.
Yes, I did get God scolded last session. He probably, I mean, he never really truly understood the repercussions of his actions completely when he would call upon his father. So he definitely feels like, wow, that's a great boon for you, Dad, but oh my God, let's try the long distance thing first.
Yeah, we did kind of damn truly so many souls. Well, we didn't. You did.
I was gonna say it's not a we party there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
God knows where
not a
Bryn's
we.
souls went. I mean, I guess technically that she
We're gonna
damned
kick the
those
Ice
14.
Queen's ass and steal
Yeah.
them back.
I'm not sure whether it was worth to stay where they were or go where they are, but I definitely feel like if they were going to go somewhere else, could have found a couple of better options.
It's weird that we sort of have this weird, not that we want it, alliance with Hell because
mean-
of how close Kaparin is to everything and how much he just gave Barnabas.
I mean, I'm
I mean,
definitely
let's
on
be
the good side of Hell.
real. I knew as soon as he made that pact with his dad that we're like, yep,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are now little patrons of that guy, but also of like our gods. So it's like,
I mean,
ugh.
If anything, the
All
party.
of us are either good or neutral.
I'm chaotic good. I don't know what else to say about my alignment other than Kaporin will do the best that he can and ultimately make the decisions that he feels will best support his goal.
Yes, we know.
We should honestly. Gafar needs to get tattooed somewhere on his arm. It doesn't matter, somewhere visible. That quote: "The road to hell is paved with good intentions."
Yeah, literally for you, the road to hell was paved with good intention.
Instead of the road to hell, it's just the road to home.
The road to
To
home.
home.
I mean,
Country roads.
if any of you end up
Take
there, I
me
could probably
home.
make a call and
I'm not going to hell. I'm sorry, man. It's not happening.
I've already been to my afterlife.
well, there's a boat
Yeah.
going around collecting souls right now. So if you end up on that boat, please
Pass.
let me know.
Apparently, I'm going to the void.
Ah, nice. Send me
You're
a
into the
postcard.
void? I think you'd go to the Fae, wouldn't you?
Me? My deity is not our whatever his name was.
Oh wait, Umbros.
Ambrose.
Umbros. So
Sorry.
what? So sir, just to clarify, what happened to those souls that got sucked up by my father?
They got eaten.
You're gonna have to figure that one out.
Well, he says that's the only way he could transport souls during that time.
Mhm.
They got
Oh.
eaten, buddy.
He's also a devil. He could lie straight to your face and you would have no clue. His deception is probably plus 30.
No one has a high enough charisma to possibly incite this guy.
We could try. We would fail miserably.
No, yeah.
I already have a maxed out charisma base game.
Well, wisdom is what's necessary for insight, and I
Yeah.
only have a plus 5, and my wisdom is 20.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened to the souls, and I'm not gonna. I asked for them to help get taken care of and move on, so they're not stuck in this place.
I will say that one
And I-
thing is that the god that smited all of those souls in the town and did everything, that wasn't a good god. And because of that, I told you that the bad gods have risen back. And because of that, Bryn basically sucked up about as all of the still pure souls that were available in that. So everything else had the taint of like bad deity magic on it. So not many good gods would have started taking that in because they didn't want to sort of like infect their own pool. It would have acted like an invasive species in their in
So in the
host
case of this
souls.
situation, it's like pick your poison. It's all like, you be here with this god that's smited you, or you go on with a demon and maybe something better.
I will say that because of that god that decimated that town, the main reason that Barnabas was cool with taking all those souls is because now Barnabas is stronger than that god that decimated that town.
Oh no!
So basically,
Was he one of the ones in line?
he did the math and was like, "Oh, this is gonna okay. I won't have to worry about that god because if he wants to fucking go, we'll go." The only person that's above Barnabas now is Asmodeus.
Oh, my uncle. Boss uncle. Uncle?
He's not quite your uncle. You're thinking of Qatar and
Oh yeah.
all the other ones over there.
Are they still? Oh,
They're still kicking.
And a lot of them raised up on the ranks because of marching of the souls from Kemper.
well, at least Dad's up there, and if
I would say that between your dad and your three uncles,
uncles.
you've got a strong showing in the top 15.
I mean, I don't feel so bad, but I feel kind of bad. But I have a good backing, so I'm not like, am I that worried to not fall back on this if anything were to go completely wrong?
The good thing that is, as far as fiends, devils, and demons go, your father, like I said, is much more of the
Straight up kind of dude.
because I have a god set for pretty much each alignment. Your dad would be lawful evil. If he was to correlate directly to godhood, which he's technically not. He would equate to the lawful evil, which is what Asmodeus is. So that's why he can't be that. But it's definitely those two, especially at 1 and 2 in their ranking, keeps everyone else in line. So it's not the worst of the options. It's probably the best of a bad option.
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah, because the CE god, the chaotic evil god, was on his way up and coming quick.
Glad it went to Barnabas instead.
Yeah, he was the one sucking souls from the northern battle of Ixia. Plus, there's a couple wars going on in different continents. So
Oh geez.
he was picking up souls heavy. So the fact that Barnabas can literally walk in and go, "Thank you," and basically take 5,000 worth of souls in one. I told you, because they had god power on it.
Big
they were-
ass fucking town, Kaporan. How surprised are you?
There were so many
You
skeletons.
saw that fucking
I
map,
forgot that
my
each
dude.
skeleton was like 5 people.
and that was just the ones that were in the streets. There's also ones in the buildings, and I believe I said about 2,500.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, there's about 2,500 souls that he consumed. But since they all had god power on them, they were equal to twice as strong of a soul. So he got about a $5,000 bump all of a sudden, and it's definitely Monsters Inc. style numbers. Once they learn that they can go for laughter instead of screaming.
Oh gosh.
Um,
It's so dark.
Shit
I don't
happens.
I mean, it's the best out of the worst outcomes, so I feel like it's a win. In the
That's how Caporn will always see things.
thinnest of sense, it's a win.
It's not the worst of the worst. It's the best of the worst. So we're
At
waiting.
least I'm related. At least I'm related to the worst of the worst. So
Can you say that sentence slower, please?
I'm not gonna even say it again.
So Eric,
How do you feel like being a grunkle?
no, not quite that.
Oh.
Some of your newfound Warforged abilities on full display this last session.
Yeah.
if anyone was to have to deal with that, Clutch, it was you. Thank God everyone got out of your fucking way. Because
Well,
if anyone had been solid, fully contacted that, I would have been like, make 3 death saving throws for me right now.
yeah, because you did what, like 200
It was
falling, or you did a lot of falling damage, and it would have been double for anyone. So that would have been, even with that low roll, it would have been what, like 120 something damage.
well, because you take half damage on things like that, you took 20d6 worth of damage. Anyone else fell at that normal rate, they would have taken the full amount. And then you falling on top of them means it would have been 40d6, double to 80d6. And that's why I said whoever would have gotten hit would have needed to make all your death saves right now, because
Oh my gosh.
homeboy coming
That's
down
just like
strong.
instantly dead. Because if you do double your max HP, then
Yeah, it would have to be shit rolls, and I would give it a chance that since it is a person landing on a person, that Amric goes like, and tries to lean it all on someone's legs. But I'd be like, yeah, you are paralyzed and need to be regenerated before anything can fucking happen. And that's if you made your death saves.
Porn wants to keep on walking. He already lost that chance once.
I think the issue with that whole situation is you described it as a slide.
85-degree slide.
I kind of thought about
Said
not.
slide.
I kind of thought about pushing Bryn down and then giving it like 2 or 3 minutes for that exact reason, because I didn't think I was gonna fall quite that quick on the slide, but I definitely knew like if anybody gets slowed down and I end up landing on top of them, like it's game over.
It's not gonna
Yeah,
be a
that's
good-
why when they were like, anybody get Amric, and Kaporin was like, I'm going down. I went, fuck.
Well, first Polly. No, yeah, it was first it was Kaporin, then it was Polly.
Kaporin, then Polly. I was like,
Kaporin was having a
It was Kaporin, Nori, and Polly, because then Polly jumped
baby
over
issues.
Nori.
But yeah, I didn't get that much context for the situation. I wasn't because I hadn't watched the session yet, and for a moment I was kind of I should have just asked, but I didn't know what the time limit on the tunnel was, so I kind of just said fuck it and went.
I mean,
think any
to
of
be
us
fair,
did.
we didn't really know. We didn't know how long we'd be in there. We just knew it showed up at night, so we knew we had to get going because we didn't know how long it was going to take us to get through it, and if it was
Yeah,
going to disappear at any point.
After Nori almost got all of us killed with her enlarge reduce, that Misty step definitely probably helped.
So, if
I
it
wish
flipped,
I'd known about Misty Step prior.
Misty step
If
is
it-
one of my I can't take it off, so I always have it.
if it had flipped though, would Amric have been tiny and I would have been enlarged?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
or Nori would have been enlarged.
That one would have been funny. Yeah, but I think that spell is retired for a while. As cool as it would be to be able to use it, the magic boosting is
I mean, I love that I can get rid of half of everyone's body when I go invisible.
Pants go.
Where'd your legs
is
go?
it like cut off? Is there just like nothing?
It just looks like
Just-
right where your belt's at, and it's just nothing. Someone walking
Just-
by with a green screen, just
If you looked underneath, it would just be nothing, just like a floating torso.
it would just be nothing gory or gross. I mean, it would just be like a black line. I'm keeping cartoon style on that one.
Damn, I'm gonna have to wait for this magic to go back to normal before I can actually use that without actually showing off that I'm doing something.
Nope, you just hang everyone else like on ropes to make them look like they're like half cut people, and then Kaporin can be invisible wherever he wants to go. Hey, you just
Oh,
dealt with the goddess of death, okay? Death's on the mind.
Sure.
Polly, some revelations got dropped on you with your family. So, first off, learning that your mom worked in unison with Illuminate probably takes a little bit off the mind.
Big relief, yeah.
But probably the big or bigger relief, Otis is
Yeah.
taken care of. And they're both technically followers of Illinade.
Yeah, which is a little disappointed, but
If anything, that means at least for your sister that there's a competing force against Trentamir.
I mean, there's no force for Trentamir right now for her.
But he has tainted. So whenever something happens in this timey-wimey bullshit, it's kind of like this multi-dimensional possibility of you've dealt with different dimensions, so you know specifically. Now that Illinade is in this Laverne's life, there's now that counteracting force as far as like the different dimensions go. So if any other weird shit were to happen, she's a little bit more safe from getting impacted by anything.
Yeah. He doesn't really think that far ahead. I mean, he does for himself and his family, but as far as like other dimensions, yeah, not so much. He's just glad that he'll be able to, like, when he goes home, he won't have this like weird suspicion about his mom, because he was real, like he didn't even want to talk to her. Like, even in short bursts, that was just torture, knowing what she did and the fact that she admitted it too. So it's a huge relief. I mean, he's a little disappointed that she didn't tell him the truth, but again, tapping and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of. He's also glad that he doesn't have to rush home, and he doesn't have to try to figure out the puzzle of fixing Otis.
Yeah,
because he knew the solution. And he knew what needed to be done. He just didn't know how to do it. So he was racking his tiny little brain and just couldn't think of any way to fix it. So
yeah,
glad it's done.
The only thing Polly has real solid understanding of getting to a different dimension is going through the little black
There's a black sucky hole.
Yeah. And then trying to find your way back to this dimension after you do all that would have been shit.
Oh, he knows a surefire way of dealing with that too, but he doesn't like using it. He wouldn't want to use it. This Trentamir is not one of his favorite beings.
True that. But a lot of those problems taken care of, and now family dinner will be a little less awkward. So that's
no kidding.
In case you were wondering, your sister and brother are in Division 9 with Amric's dad, who's now the prefect of Division 9.
Go father.
District 9, sorry.
Oh. You know what? Let me ask that while we're on the topic. So I think it kind of got brought up once. Did that whole area end up becoming its own district, or was it split up?
No one gave a specific, like, here's the map and how it's now cut. But there are 12 districts now, so that entire upper area got split into thirds. Actually 4. 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 9th district is literally right above District 3. So where the front line was, a large section of that has now become District 9, and that's where Laverne and Otis are, and they're going over the battlefield collecting souls.
Man, you know what this means? Next time someone fucks with us, I can pull the, do you know who my father is?
And then Comparin goes, do you know who my father is? Like, Comparin, no one wants to know who your father is, shut the fuck up.
And then Nori does it as well, and
then someone just randomly dies as Valak appears and just kills him, like, stop telling people, and then disappears.
We're about to turn into a group of entitled kids.
Nori who just like never even like mentions like Valak is her father. It's like, oh yeah, Valak is doing this. She has never told any out of only you guys know. She's not told a soul.
Caprine's like, and do you know who her father is? And he's all like,
then you're just gonna get slapped upside the head. Not by any of your group. Everyone's coming over to slap you, but then all of a sudden this hand just appears out of a portal and just and goes back in. So, next question is for Bryn. Some information has been understood. The Ice Queen is no longer a part of your life. And you came to find out that all those souls that you gathered in that town had gone to her, and that had given her enough power to get out of Trilithia's grasp and to be out in the world yet again. But for the good part, because of what Trilithia did, broke the mirror, that broke the phylactery. So at least small wins. She was able to separate her from you, which now means that Ilinade is completely back in control and no longer this substitute taking over. How does Bryn process all of it, really?
I was thinking about that.
Like the
'Cause I
fact
was
that
like, oh,
Floki was put there by Ilinade to be
I
your
know.
source of power,
Yeah.
and then because of all that shit, that little sliver of Floki was destroyed, and she inserted herself into that role. Obviously, without you knowing, because you didn't know that Floki was there to begin. I mean, you knew, but you didn't. But you didn't know why he was there. You just knew he was there.
Yeah.
And then I sort of alluded to it when I believe it was Nori who saw the Ice Queen sort of shift in your place, like Floki had in the past.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
I wanted to draw something from that, but unfortunately Nori didn't see the Floki thing
Yeah.
in the first place, so I had no reference for anything.
So, with all of that combined, how does she feel?
It's weird. It's like a weird place because she knows like she's still trying to disconnect that they're two different people almost. Because she's like, Sigrun is the person I grew up with, but now it's like, yeah, she had a feeling like at the beginning when it first happened that she was like still the Ice Queen, but it was like she was getting her friend back, is what she was,
Yeah.
and helping her friend, or her friend was helping her more so. Or going to help kind of thing. So it just kind of cemented back like that's not who I grew up with, I guess, or like that. It kind of severed that tie.
Yeah. Well, to be
yeah.
fair, and I'm a little bit more okay with answering these questions as Ilinade or Trilithia, because we didn't blow past that, but a lot of stuff was happening at that time between different people that there could have been time for more questions to be asked. Ilinade obviously knew when Floki's piece perished that something happened. And checking in, he wasn't really worried about the Ice Queen being that power source for now, because she didn't have any power to do anything. So it was more of like okay, she's there, Bryn can use her, but she can't do anything. So I'm not too worried. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not too worried about her being there. And then you went to the town, and she was able to act because it was you.
All would have been fine if there were no souls to collect.
Exactly.
If I had taken up the Mithranium offer earlier, which is
Well, that's
fun
one
to
thing,
know.
but because it was Bryn who got the fractured mind thing and got to saw everything, the god touched her, and because of that, the Ice Queen was able to siphon a little bit of that energy, just enough to get strong enough to activate Bryn's hands. And Bryn didn't know any better, because she's always just blindly followed the hands. And then once she was able to get Ebadiah's soul, who had the majority of the god's wrath placed upon it, and he was the lock to this entire area, that boosted her once, and she needed to be directly given to that. But once she had that power, she can go, okay, I'm just gonna sit in the back, let Bryn think she's just taking souls
Pretend
in.
it's not coming to me.
Exactly. Literally, the mirror was on your back, and as you were pushing souls in, it was literally just going straight through you and back into the mirror. So it was still going directly to her, but she didn't, at first didn't have the power to just make it happen. But she gained the power, and that's why let's just say that without that, there may not have been a sandbar that magically showed itself at night to go directly to Trilithia and Ilinade.
It was there anything we could have even realistically done to stop it at that point once it got that far?
Once the soul got in, then you're talking about, I mean, you guys have dealt with soul encapsulating devices before. They pack a punch. So once she got all those souls, nah. There is nothing mortals could do at that point. Because the fact that she was already a strong lich, and she sucked up 15 souls, plus god power, so that makes it 30. Technically, Ebadiah was worth 10 times, so 40. She just siphoned 40 souls. So think of the egg, Polly, that you can use. What does it do? 20 d6 worth of radiant and explosive damage?
I was actually just about to look it up.
Times 40. That's how much roughly power that she had just gotten.
10d10.
10d10. So 400 d10 worth of power. If you want to, make easy apples to apples comparison. So at that point, she was juiced.
Yeah. Bryn, it sucks because she definitely started off with this is a little weird. And as time went on, was growing to the fact, to help each other.
Yeah. Because she
So
didn't seem like
it's-
the Ice Queen. She seemed more like
Yeah,
your friend.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she's hurt on that part, but she's also understanding she didn't give a shit that it was Bryn. She was gonna do whoever was gonna help her out at that point. And that happened to be Bryn.
To be fair, she was mutually beneficial up until she saw an opportunity. But fun fact that Ilinade may have dropped on you. This Sigrun person was, unbeknownst to mostly everyone else, and now that he's god, he can go into his own memories and sort of see things differently.
This Sigrun person as the person that was in the mirror, or the person from the childhood?
Childhood.
Okay.
Had constantly showed up in Valkyrie, in Lingvi community. They would die, and then, oh wow, you look just like this one girl that was a pillar of the community. Oh yeah, or oh, you look just like your aunt. She would implant herself back into the community over and over and over again until she got to the Prophecy Child. And so
She's been waiting for you a long time.
So as soon as that
Oh
happened,
gosh.
very much
Bird being used that entire time. That's awful.
she needed to be right alongside it and see what happened, and she just wanted to be there is all. And then when everything happened, and when she lost her arm, she saw that as an opportunity to be like, okay, I'm gonna leave this shell behind and focus on some other things. Especially since she'd gotten Vinny's Trentamere piece, and by that time, and a whole host of other stuff was going down. So yeah. It's been a long play. Tell you guys give me just a smidge of backstory and I'll fuck it up.
No, we know.
So, like I said, there would have been more time for you guys to talk to Trilithia and Ilinade, especially Trilithia, because she was there for you guys all through the night. So if there is any other questions you may have wanted
Why
to...
do you look familiar? Not that she would say it that way, but
she...
No, you said I was able to figure it out. The
Yeah.
Nira thing, right?
Yeah, you figured it.
You look so much like Nira.
And she would have said, "No, that's my mother."
Would Bryn know like how old she should have been?
Yeah, she should be somewhere around like 12.
Is Frigg?
Yeah. Yeah, so she should be somewhere like normally be around 12, but once you be chosen as a vessel for a god, they can sort of speed up your aging process as much as they want to. So, since that was one of the curse-breaking things that needed to be done for Ilinade to ascend to godhood, it was sort of a necessity. So...
I was so happy.
What, that you were able to figure it out?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, another sort of recurring theme is that Frigg's entire existence was to become the vessel for Trilithia. So, her existence was predetermined as well. Because when Frigg was conceived, it was her current champion that was with Nira. And because of that, they had the kid. So, the dad... This is ended up happening. So the dad was the champion of Trilithia. During that time, he met Nira as Nira was doing her Valkyrie thing on the battlefield. He was going and collecting souls as well. They met, and they kept meeting at different battlefields, and eventually sort of fell in love. He went to his god and was like, you know, I'm in love with a mortal, this, and that. And she sort of gave a blessing to it because she was in semi the same place. You know, she was in love with a demigod, who was a god, but he's now a demigod. So she felt for it and allowed it to continue. They ended up having a kid, but obviously he couldn't be around for it. So that put her in a bit of a bind, and she ended up going with the Ixian military and everything, and leaving her daughter at home to be raised by her mom. But since she was in a safe place and everything, he was able to go back and see her all the time. Frigg. Unfortunately, though, because of a champion conceiving a child, that will usually taint the soul of the child. And because of that, there was the whole... Okay, if you want to succeed, if you want to still live, you got to become my vessel. And so early on, Trilithia knew that that's going to be my vessel. Everything's going to go on. The dad ended up talking to Nira when Nira disappeared with Ilinade. And he basically said, I've had my time. I love you. I love our daughter. This is what our daughter has to do. You know, this is what she's going to become. But to allow you, Nira, to always be with her, I'm going to step down as champion and allow you to become champion of Ilinade. Because she had to go be the champion of Trilithia because Ilinade wasn't a god yet. So, Nira is now Ilinade's champion, but she was Trilithia's champion. That was the only way to keep her from aging.
Are all those characters who I think they are? Because I'm the only one old enough to remember that.
Yeah, you know exactly who we're talking about.
Yes.
Care to enlighten?
Nira was part of Group 1 original, or not super originally, but right behind.
Oh, I feel like you guys mentioned that the other day.
Yeah, she
You ever shot
left right before we all got murdered by spiders.
Yep. she knew Brisa, right?
Yeah, I met
think-
Frigg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
I asked Elinade for that fancy ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
It didn't happen, so.
so those are all characters and how I worked everything into the world.
it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. But yeah, that's everyone. That's how it went down, and so now Nira is Illuminate's champion. Trilithia is technically without a champion, but she has a vessel. So she's looking for a champion. Eventually.
Hmm.
But
Was
unfortunately,
Aether
no,
just in the
Capera.
ether?
Was
I'm
that?
not gonna be a champion.
Was that Bryn?
Is Acer? Yeah, that was his name. It's just in
He's
the.
gone.
yeah.
He's
in the
just
ether.
he's just part of Trilithia's soul collection now.
I have a daughter.
All you
I
said
offer
is
her
that
up.
I am a dad. I offer her up. What the hell, man?
I feel like Kaporin is about to be the Ninjago meme that's really popular right now.
Uh,
Oh god, someone needs to drop it because I don't know what the hell you guys.
I'll leave that to Amric.
Find it on TikTok later. It's like every other video on my feed anyway.
Porn being a father, biggest mind blown.
Any other questions though for Trilithia? More so than Illinade, but can be either.
I have a question, but it's unrelated, so after
Okay.
everyone else goes.
Yeah, I don't think there was really questions Nori would have asked. Is like, do you know if my family's okay? Are they good right now? That's
To who?
pretty much all she
Illinade?
would. Probably to Illinade, since he's more invested in that sort of thing.
How would Illinade respond to Nori?
Brent's just gonna
Absolutely
glare at him.
missing.
He's a guy.
Nice.
You can't do shit to his
He can
feelings.
still glare. She doesn't care.
He would look at everyone who's around, comparing Amric, Polly, Richa, Bryn, and be like, they seem fine to me.
It essentially be like the family I can't see right now. Richa doesn't count.
Richa probably would take that immediate challenge. Don't think you have anything to worry about. That's about as good of an answer as he would want to give.
So, with him being so dodgy about it, Nori knows that there's something not great happening, but they have it mostly handled.
That's one way of looking at it, yes.
That's the Nori way of looking at it.
That's the way Nori wants to look at it.
What other
We're gonna
way
eat-
should she look at it? That they're all dead right now? And that
Well, you
the
know how-
Herbest-
You no longer
You know
have
how
to
your
worry about
brother. You know how your brother has a metal arm? Well, now your teacher has a metal leg.
it. And Nori has metal arm as well. Like brother,
See,
like
everyone.
sister.
We're just missing one little one.
That's just rude. Make her
I have a
niece
kid
have
now.
a metal what? Metal stomach?
That's
I have a kid
mean.
now.
Yeah, but she would be like, essentially like, come on, man, just don't do this to me, please.
Anybody else have any questions for either of the deities?
Oh man, that's all I got. They just continue to be dodgy.
Of
Why
course,
is
it's,
she in the middle
it's
of an
Illuminated.
ocean?
I went to
Is it true?
Trulithia and asked her to be straight with me.
She would just be like, I haven't been checking in on your family. I'm sorry, it's not really on my list.
Fine.
Like, who is your family?
Yeah, like
I get it. You're busy. I
she
just wanted to see.
like I was told these
Where
people
are
were
you?
showing up. I just made the cookies.
You're
and,
fine. I was covering my bases.
And smiled and waved.
Ignore me.
I haven't done any research on any of you besides Bryn.
Wonderful.
know-
Have a great day.
Do they know how many more trials we have to go through?
I think we're kind of low on their to-do list.
Yeah, well,
I-
Trilithia knows about this specific quest.
Yeah, I know she won't give us any specifics about the quest, but does she know?
She would say you need to visit each island.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Was it 3 more islands? Well, we're on the 3rd.
4.
1 more.
So did we skip 3?
No, we were on the first one, and then it teleported us to the 3rd
To
one,
the 3rd one, and you just walked your guys' way to the
to the 4th one.
far left one. So you've got number 2, number 4, number 5, and number 7 to go to. Because this counts as visiting this one.
Oh, nice. We're visiting all the sites.
Mm-hmm. You're getting the full island tour.
Sightseeing in like the worst way possible.
Yeah,
Out
under
of order, just all over the place. Don't know where we're going. Who fucking signed us up for zip lining?
Who signed us up to swimming with the sharks?
Slow turn to Richaw.
But Polly, Ilinade did when he went over and talked to you for a hot second. He was kind of like pausing and holding and waiting there for anything you wanted to blurb out and talk to him about.
Nope.
Okay.
No, he was just real happy to see him. He wasn't like. There's a few things, but they're like superficial, stupid shit that doesn't matter, and he didn't want to bother anybody with that stuff anyway.
It's kind of Ilinade's bag, but that's fine.
I mean, he can always send to him now, and he's got 50 fucking words now.
All right, Amric, what was the question?
All right. So moving away from kind of what we talked about at the very end of last session, when we got our milestone levels,
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like you assumed I was gonna go fighter. Did that decision to go level in paladin surprise you?
I knew eventually that you would push into probably a little bit more paladin, but I figured that honestly, if I would have probably checked your character sheet beforehand and been like, okay, well, what does the next fighter look like? What does the next cleric, next paladin look like? I probably would have said paladin. But just off the RP, I was like, okay, well, he's been trying to talk to Umbros, but Umbros hasn't been really responsive yet. So it could have swung either way in my mind of, okay, are you going to commit a little bit more into Paladin to possibly get that connection, like some of these other people do with their deities? Or are you going to take that as a, okay, maybe I'm not there yet, and go fighter? And honestly, I just thought the D10 was for the fighter. I didn't know if Paladin was D10, D12, or what it was.
Yeah, I think they're. I don't know if I have that option. I'm going to sacrifice 2,500 souls to my deity.
They would definitely talk to you.
It's like, what the hell were you thinking?
But no, I mean, yeah, they're both D10s. I didn't even really look at until I already did level up. Look at the character sheet for fighter, because I've been pushing Amric for a while. The idea of just going paladin. Originally, for the purpose of Umbros, kind of seemed like that path to solving his biggest current ailment, and even now where that's kind of done with, where Umbros can't really help with the undead thing since it's over now. With the way that the world is looking now, my train of thought kind of there to justify it was like, it might not make much of a difference, but it probably would help if one of the gods that are kind of on our side
Just a little extra boost.
just a little
Just
extra.
having like another god that's chill with you is not a bad thing.
That's why
Especially
Nori's like,
when
why do you think I did this?
Yeah, it's been a long time since we talked about it, but yeah, I got the kind of feeling that Umbros does not have a lot of followers and
Umbros
does not
has
most one.
a lot.
Where's their fucking temples? I want a holy symbol.
A lot of Umbros's Umbros doesn't really have chapels or temples. Umbros, it's a lot of shore worship, so on the shore beaches, because that's where a lot of people will see sunsets and
Beach
what-
bums.
So a lot of times when you see like people gathering on beaches or on the tops of mountains, that would be an Umbros sort of worshipping situation going on. And then Umbros followers are also one of the few followers that are comfortable traveling at night because they deal with the stars and the moon and everything.
Yeah, but that was Amar's kind of headspace for the path that he went on, and probably will be as long as all this stuff is still going on.
Oh no, I'm here for it. I like the paladin path more than the fighter because it allows for more RP stuff and
Yeah, it was one of the things I kind of regretted a lot after doing was not going further down the paladin line, but it's kind of well over now.
right. Well, there's plenty of levels to be had still. I'm trying to. Any questions? Any more questions for me? Before I overtake once again.
Am I allowed to ask God questions, or do I have to figure that out with my new god?
It depends on the question.
Am I like one of his only followers now, since he was low-key destroyed?
So,
Is he like
whatever
his
the hell
true
happened to
follower?
him?
as far as it goes, I mean, a lot of the followers died in Kemper.
Didn't you say before though, like the
was,
the followers of
uh,
Mithrin was like a fake Mithrin?
Yeah, so the Mithril's
Described
mind
it as a snake.
Mithril is mined from the body of Mithrin. And that was at the bottom of Kemper. That is where that's where Mithrinum fell during Ultra Torum. But there were more pieces, but there was the piece that you had that was tucked and saved away as sort of like a Horcrux style of not being completely dead. Because he knew that most likely he was to fall in the battle, he pushed those pieces out as fail-safes to continue on. And unfortunately, someone else sort of saw the gap and took the space and pretended to be Mithranum. But those that are like true believers, and especially the older generations, like the elder dwarves, some of the elder elves that would still have knowledge, because the fake Mithranum only has shown up in the last like 400 years. So those older believers would still be part of the current still worshipping individuals. But obviously, Mithranum, since he's still alive, still has a bank of souls in his plane that he has. Which is the Earth plane, by the way. Obviously. So, a lot of the souls, and there's actually a sect of kobolds that are true believers of Mithranum.
Hey, if we ever go to the Earth plane where we have to go get those weapons forged in that great temple, whatever, we should go visit your god.
She has a little bit more of a direct line than needing to go to his plane.
Yeah,
Hey.
he's pretty close.
Yeah.
We went to Vin's, and We went to Bryn's people's heaven.
That was, as far as like Bryn's gods go, like the Norse gods and everything like that. A lot of them are no longer being prayed to, and her gods work very differently in the fact that a lot of them, though they're known, the people that worship them are anonymous. Like, they don't know which god they're directly giving the souls to. So they work in a completely different way, and that's why they're able to sort of live harmoniously together. You guys went through the other planes. Did you see any harmonious god loving together?
No.
All the races wanting to fight each other?
I just killed a small for it.
You killing
Yeah.
shit ton of squirrels? Like,
That's pretty harmonious.
but it goes to show you that,
That's
like,
not harmonious.
Valhalla was...
They're unified in death, Nori.
We find peace in.
Those secretly were the 2,500
Pieces.
souls in that town. They were all squirrel souls.
That's the real reason why they're stuck there. It's because I killed them on another plane and they got
Another
stuck
dimension,
in the
yeah.
town.
But, yeah, so a lot of those other planes live in a sort of chaos and turmoil at all times, where the gods that... Though the gods are an understanding of splitting the planes in however many different ways that they need to, they are very much like, this is my border. Fuck anybody, any of your people that come across my border, I am taking, and they're mine now. Except for Valhalla, where it's very much like a, fuck it, let's party! All the time. The only other, like... Well, I mean, technically, Brulison lives in that plane as well. But I was gonna say technically Brulison's plane, but I'm like, no, he's in that plane too. Where do you think they get all the alcohol?
Oh god.
They're vibing.
Yep. So, any other questions?
When I first came in, you were talking about new paladin class of throwing it back. Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
I was telling Nori, I was like, I feel like I need to shake that just to be like, okay, Brynna actually has an inner dance queen. Like, here you go. This is the true reason why Illinade was like, yes,
She gets proficiency in performance.
No, that's
she
my
gets
thing.
proficiency in throwing it back.
Just that.
Just
Only
throwing
that.
it back.
Nothing else.
If you level up and you want a multi-class in the paladin, Illinade's not gonna fucking say no. He's gonna have some stipulations.
Just become
Right.
more like my best friend.
You're gonna have to go to Saturday or Penta class of throwing it back, so you can learn exactly how to. All right, heels to your toes, heels to toes, heels to toes. Get that booty working. Get the booty. It's like an aerobics class.
Porn will join you for that class.
No one else is allowed to take Paladin. You guys are done stealing my stuff.
None of us throw our weapons, okay? We're leaving that to you.
I already took the cold thing from you. Like, I can just follow your footsteps into paladin.
You're a trendsetter, Emmerich.
I will try not to.
You're the
do
hipster of the
metal
group,
part.
Emmerich.
Yeah,
think-
now I'm rocking a metal arm now.
I don't think my dad will allow
Y'all
me to
better
do
start
anything
paying
else
me
right now.
royalties for these ideas.
I already paid
I believe
you.
she gave
and
you
you
20
ate it.
gold.
She gave me 20 gold for almost murdering me on the slide
I apologize.
and for breaking my
I gave
trust.
you-
We'll
food.
say 15 gold was for that and 5 gold was for royalties.
Wait, question. How does Amrit heal over a long rest then?
Normally. He does
Okay.
He does need to eat though to gain, or else he gets the exhaustion. So just like you guys need to
Oh,
have a meal,
okay.
he also needs to eat. I believe I said it was 10 gold worth of.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing as a ration.
So
Okay.
same concept, just different alloys.
So handing him money is essentially like, here's a sandwich.
It's basically like, here's dinner. And
So if we ever let him into the treasure hoard, that's like a 12-course meal.
oh, he's just gonna be like, come back in a month. You guys will be
Just-
broke, but he will be fat and happy.
Just give me a platinum with a gold in the middle and a platinum on the bottom. I've got Oreos.
You got Oreos, yeah. You got the reverse Oreos.
You have to go. No, you have
Do
to go with the
not
gold.
try to take a bite out of my arm.
That won't go over very well.
Oh no. One god will be very, very upset.
No, he'll just probably break his jaw.
Is her arm harder than?
Her arm is a portion of a deity.
Okay, never mind.
Made of mithril.
It's
I
just
don't.
metal.
I think it's a little bit on me.
You can eat mithril. You just can't eat the bone
God,
marrow.
mithril?
Yeah, I think that would hurt.
Yeah,
Him,
because
more than
all the
you.
mithril that's mined, it doesn't have any of the god juice in it left.
Oh God, is he okay with me having mithril armor
Yeah.
or whatever? It is?
He's under. Mithranum is very much a laid back, like people do what they do.
Hey, you're wearing my left femur.
It's like, should I tell her that was a piece of my butt cheek? Nah, it's just funnier just to watch
Probably
it.
not.
It's just further aligning her with the paladin of throwing it back.
Kaparin's just gonna like find a mithril bar at one point and be like, "Oh, look what I got!" And Mithranum's just like, "He's holding my left nipple." It's real weird.
How
Well,
do
and, like,
you
I have
know
a
that's
mithril piece.
exactly what it is?
Hey, he
I have a
split
mithril
portion.
piece from something.
He split portions of his body to hold his soul. He's gonna know pretty much every piece.
I'm gonna love it. Nor's just gonna
Do I
be
have
random.
to gather them? Is that my purpose
No,
now?
you're not becoming full mithril. No, you're fine.
I
Nor's just
Complete-
was
like,
gonna say
Complete
no,
reverse
not
druid.
Trentimir 2.0.
The complete reverse druid. Most druids can't wear armor. She becomes metal.
she's gonna
Just
collect all.
following Emmerich farther.
Yep. I'm gonna be a warforged too.
I don't want to be a Warforged. I'll stick with the arm.
But yeah, and Nori's arm is going to have something that lives inside of it. So that's gonna be fun.
Hello. Goodbye.
It's
Sure,
not
'cause
a
it-
fucking communication device from the Predator.
I did. It's a go-go gay. Doink.
I just totally thought of the Predator armband.
Can't wait for that to come out and Bryn go, really?
And she's gonna
Talking
turn to you.
vines at home.
She's gonna turn to you and be like,
this.
"Now there's always gonna be a plan with us, and not just spaghetti."
Oh, great.
What? Oh God.
Yeah, it was. Hey, it's that or little bugs.
I like little bugs.
Nori doesn't though.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't like
Meta
little
doesn't.
bugs. I think Nori would have been okay with it, but I am so deeply adverse to the fact that bugs living in arm sounds absolutely wretched, and I don't think I could play it without cringing the entire time.
I'm gonna summon
is
my
that?
little buddies.
So, like, the flavor of it is it's spaghetti, isn't it? Or am I to find a different vine?
No, because you take the class and you get it, it just automatically gets conjured.
Yeah, I was because you said spaghetti could live in my arms. so I
Spaghetti
was
could if you
wondering.
wanted it to, but he already does his own things, so making him also be able to do Thorn Whip is a bit OP.
Fine, but yeah, so I've got a metal arm with little vines woven through. At least that's how I've imagined it.
Yeah, basically. Whereas you'll see certain martial artists use like the chain and blade, and they wrap the chain around their arm. It's sort of the same concept, but with a vine. But instead of just like being on the outside of the arm, it's actually able to mold its way between the bark-like texturing to her arm.
That's gonna be weird to explain if we go into a town. But Amric is weirder.
Yeah,
so
I think I take the tough spot on that.
it's like, what the hell is it? Nori walks in. What the hell's wrong with her arm? What the hell is wrong with that entire
Fuck
guy?
that! What's that dude over there? It'd be like, oh, it's
Yeah,
just a
we're-
new style of armor. Don't worry.
We're gonna have to figure that out, like get me like a giant cloak or something at some point.
Yeah, Nori's
Otherwise,
gonna,
I will be living up to my Discord name and becoming the sideshow attraction.
Nori's can literally be understood with or hidden with a long sleeve cloak or shirt or
I just wear a glove and long sleeves, and then it's like, oh, that's just a normal person.
Why is she
Prosthetic.
always wearing Falconer's gloves? Don't worry about it.
She has a falcon that you've just never met.
Why is that
It's
dude
Rich
been walking
John
around with a
said
full body
horrible
cast last for
ceiling.
weeks?
That was a lot of people at once. I was trying to follow. It just did not work. Emmerich
Someone
first.
go first.
I was like, why is that dude been walking around in a full body cast for this last 3 weeks?
Polly.
I just said she had a really horrible skin condition.
Nori.
I said Racha descends from above.
Oh, God. Let's not even bring in... Well, let's bring up Racha. Racha's back.
Yay,
it.
we got the bird.
Bird is back. Bird is back to being
And he
good.
can talk.
And now
That
you
is
guys
the
get to
word.
relive the word vomit Racha.
And it's so great because like Ryan's a man of few words typically. Like in life too. So
Mhm.
now I'm like, you have to word vomit. Good luck.
It's funny because even though he is, in both contexts, and Racha, having to do the mimicry, I feel like he's all there for the word vomit.
Oh, he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, because he was asking me, do I have the word vomit thing? I'm like, hell yeah, you do. He's like, sweet. So
Oh no, he loves it.
he's going to over, under, and in between explain pretty much everything now.
I think he got more attached to Rachel than he thought he would. Or at the start. Because he
Yeah.
was so attached to I feel like he was attached to Barrett and then Barrick. And then I think he went into Rachel like half-heartedly almost.
Okay.
And it's maybe not. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's like he's definitely gone a different route than I think he saw.
Yeah. I think it was more of a, because he had put so much time already into Barrick. Because it was like, what, a year of Barrick?
Mm,
I think
no,
I think a little bit less, but
Like,
cool.
Yeah,
eight,
less than
9,
a
10
year.
months, maybe?
because it was like you guys started October or something
Yeah.
like that.
We started in October.
And then Breeza joined in like May or something. And
Okay.
then like within a month,
They were dead.
we had new characters.
Yeah, because I think I remember bringing the 2 half-elves in at the end of summer.
Yeah,
Not a
August,
problem
I think
prepared.
August. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. So yeah, I think it was just he put so much time already into Barrick, and things were starting to unravel with his backstory stuff, and he was really starting to learn some new things.
Yeah, I don't think he thought Rachel was gonna live this long.
Yeah, I think that is very much for sure, and I don't think he expected to have as much fun with Racha as he was going to. I think he was more worried about the mimicry stuff, but then realized that, oh, this is actually not too hard or bad or anything like that. And
And I know tables that'll get really, really frustrated with that and like refuse to do it, but we've all kind of been pretty good about it. Like, okay, we just gotta figure this out.
yeah. And to be fair, I didn't get super strict on the Kenku mimicry stuff. I always let him... I felt comfortable enough where he wasn't going to overdo anything. So
Oh yeah. At some point he stopped taking notes on what was actually said, unless it was like a very specific line. He's like, yeah, fuck that. I need that.
yeah.
Otherwise he would it would just be based off of memory. But he's a very auditory learner. So he was like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah. And the fact that, as he was with you guys for long enough, because obviously when he was first coming into it, he didn't have much social interaction, so he didn't have much words to work with. So he was working off of what you guys gave him. But after you guys had any and every conversation under the sun, he had a lot to go off of, so it was much less of, I need to pick my words and try and string them together instead of, and then just be like, okay, well, this is kind of like my new language. But yeah, so Word Vomit Racha's back. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait. Unfortunately, with both Amric and Racha more than Amric, because Amric is going to be with us for some Mondays. Racha will be quiet on Mondays, And then on Thursdays, he's going to extra word vomit. So, we'll make it work. But, any other questions, concerns, hypotheses between me or anyone else before we go ahead and call it for tonight?
I have a mechanics question.
Yeah.
So, Nori is of the thought process that this is going to break everything. But, because I want to say we still have a fairly high level spell gem floating around somewhere.
Yeah.
If our super cleric man, Holly, casts commune into the spell gem, and then one of us uses it, would we be able to use that as commune to
Unfortunately,
our god,
with
or no?
commune, it is a ritual casting, and as soon as it's done, that's when the gods get contacted. So I would say commune is going to be a type of spell that cannot be put into a spell gem. Because literally during the entire ritual casting, you're sort of bridging the gap between you and your god, or currently right now with what's going on. Any god that's listening and is close enough to beat out the other gods. And then once the ritual casting is done is when it happens. Like the connection is made final. I would say because there's a pull from a much stronger source on the other end of that spell, it can't be just stored.
Tragic.
And if the magic boosting stuff goes away and it ends up being just to Brulison, whoever would use that commune spell would end up being talking to Brulison. It wouldn't be a different god.
Sorry, Emric.
Just ways things have to go. You can't, phone up one god and expect a different god to answer.
Well, I guess Nori can do that. Hello.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, how you feeling? Oh, I'm doing okay. How about you? Shit's going weird. Yeah, no, I've been watching.
Oh yeah, you're kind of always there.
Yeah. I was part of that bitch slap that you gave Capare.
Did you enjoy it?
Very much so. Just in case you were wondering, that was my ass. So I ass slapped him.
Oh gosh. Got bone marrow. But does that hand specifically do damage if I hit someone?
Yeah.
How much damage does it do? 1?
I'd say it does 1d4 worth of damage.
That is more than my current 0.
Exactly. So,
I am thrilled with my 1d4.
So you can think, like, do I want to slap someone just to get a point across, or do I really want to slap someone? And so that would...
Just getting hit in the face with metal is not fun.
No. So it's definitely... It would do more if you had more strength. But you don't, so 1d4 is plenty. But if you guys just see Nori, like, in a corner, like, just staring at her hands, trying to decide, she's about to bitch slap the shit out of someone. Because if she decides to go with the metal, it's gonna hurt. If she's having this conversation and decides to go with the non-metal hand, that means she's putting her full weight into it. She's on the fence between which hand, she's got some oomph behind it. So, any other questions?
Since there's a Illinade specific thing for Paladin, is there Illinade specific things for the other options?
Of course. Someone else is going to multi-class into cleric.
Now I'm like, oh god,
Clerics.
Because since you were like that's the thing, and I was like, do I just want to do it for the shits and giggles, just to be like, that's her big secret? She's been hiding it from all of you. She just secretly likes to party, and that's why this happened.
Yeah, he's also got a cleric domain as well. Unfortunately, to pick like solely which domain it is, you have to go a couple levels into it. So it's not as simple as a
Oh no, cleric.
No, yeah.
Cleric domain is first level.
first. Oh, okay. Let me see. Illinade's cleric.
That's why I'm nature domain and I'm
Right,
only a
right.
first level cleric.
Let me pull up. There it is. All right. Illinade deities. Illinade classes. Scroll. Illinade has the most pages out of all the gods.
Of course he does.
Because every interaction you guys have had with him, I've had to write it down. I've had to do world timeline stuff with him. I just need to find where the Paladin Oath Throwing It Back is. I think it is here somewhere. I really am going to separate these because that just makes it a giant paragraph and very hard to find shit. Okay. And by the way, Hastios is the Archfey of Silver. For your notes, Amric. That is the Archfey that gave Bella the sword to turn you into a Warforged. Hastios Vahana.
Can I get a spelling of that last name?
Vahana.
I spelled it right.
There's always such a moment when you spell one of his names right.
As Archfey of Silver, also known as Archfey to the Celestial Sky. Man, I need to fucking organize this shit. So sometimes things happen and I just go over to Illinade's thing, scroll all the way to the bottom and just type it in. I can't forget this. But I believe... Okay, there's the Paladin. I remember his cleric domain now.
Oh no. What is it?
He is the Fiesta domain.
Yes.
Do I want to know?
Well, Fiesta is just party in Spanish,
Yeah.
so this is the party domain.
Would I have to go to school for that one?
No, because you had direct interaction with the god himself, you wouldn't need to go to school for that one. But if you did, it would be like, Arizona State University, a party school. But no, in this case, you would just be able to go in that direction if you wanted to. But I don't. It's in D&D Beyond, the actual information. I just have the name of it here, so I'd have to search for it and tell you what it exactly does.
Bryn moves to Chico.
But did you expect anything else from Illinade?
I mean, considering the Paladin was throwing it back, no.
Exactly.
I honestly expected worse, so.
Fiesta domain it is.
If I could get the information, that would be great. So
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
make decisions.
I'll find it, pull it up, make sure that it's completed, and send you over the snippets for level 1.
Now I need to figure out if I want to do it for shits and giggles or not.
We'll see.
And extra cleric is one hell of a class. I only played clerics until I played Nori, and now Nori is multi-classed into cleric, so that says a lot about me. But
Cleric option, yes. Yes. I've been itching this entire time.
I'm loving Nori because all her spells are so cheap. It's great.
Paul is just over there, everyone fucking becoming a cleric. And him and Amber just sitting in the corner being like, everyone's just doing our shit.
I didn't complain when Rachel became a druid.
That just
Shoot,
means
get
I
off
get to
my back.
hit shit.
Yep, Paul is like, I don't have to beat the yes. He's just running in there, fucking hammer swinging.
I'm pretty sure
all of us have access to some sort of healing, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, now that Racha is part druid, paladin. If Bryn goes paladin or cleric, she would.
I mean, I was able to keep people stable at least.
Yeah.
You know what, Bryn, if you really want to join me in the lands of Paladin, I suppose you can.
Just cement the best friendhood even farther. Just instead of the tattoos, it's even classes too.
Instead of BAMF, it's now BAMP.
Just add
Just
to the
getting
acronym.
longer and longer.
Paladin fighter, yeah. All right. Any other questions?
I think I'm good.
No. All right. Usually at the end of these, I'll ask you. We haven't done it in the last couple ones. What we think about some NPCs. I'm gonna just do two. One of them is pretty obvious, but Trilithia.
He doesn't seem like a bad person. I don't know. We've met her once.
And it only matter once. No negative opinions. She seems very nice. The Throne of Bones was slightly off-putting, but
She's the
everyone's
goddess
got a
of death.
hobby.
Death and destruction. So I mean,
She didn't try and kill us, and that's a big plus for her.
Honestly, yeah.
I feel like we don't see that very often.
I talked to 3 gods in one day. That was interesting.
in the same tent.
In the same tent. 3 gods within 5 minutes. That's the...
That's the new bar.
Well, it'd probably be like 2 minutes because I'm still never mind. Positive to neutral.
Bryn was here for it. She was like, she first was like, Valkyrie, okay, cool. And then she saw the battle armor and she's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, Polly likes her. I think she's pretty cool. She's got bones she can talk to, and she's married to one of his favorite people, and she seems pretty chill. Not too goth god kind of weirdness, and she gave him a mug that he actually really needed. So I was pretty excited about that too.
All
Is
winning.
she super goth in her true form?
No.
Damn.
She's just heavily inundated with tattoos. But she pretty much, if you were able to read all of her body, she has pretty much every Valkyrie runic tattoo. So she's got the entire alphabet. She's got all the emotions, a lot of the magic spell ones, like everything.
It's just like, I want to be her.
And that's mainly to protect her vessel. But besides that, and the armor that she wears, it's black and purple. But it's very much like if you saw the armor in a video game, you'd be like, that doesn't fucking work. Though that shouldn't work. But the way that the Valkyrie need to be able to move and everything, it makes it blocks what it needs to, but Valkyries pride themselves on not getting hit. So it's kind of that in between, and it looks hot. So Valkyries are also like, if we're gonna be out there, we might as well be looking fucking good while we're doing it. But it's very much more, it's battle armor, could definitely be used, but it's not the armor you're gonna be wearing every day to battle. It's very much the ceremonial stuff. So she looks semi-goth, especially sitting on a throne of bones, but she's not super hardcore. Trying to do the high contrast makeup and shit to be doing little mascara tears and shit. No, she's not. She's not quite that goth.
She's not cringe goth. She's
No.
just cool goth.
She's the goddess of death and destruction. So there's got to be a little bit of that flavor to it. And then we've joked, we've laughed, we've thought about it. And now, since it might be coming into play, and this person might be being seen again, Ladash.
Me, the player, likes him. I genuinely like this character. He's very fun.
Save the shit out of you
Nori,
guys in that
up
town.
to debate. Yeah, did great job. Very helpful character that I like him. Nori is grateful for him, but also
It's a little worry
heh,
in the back of Nori's mind. And to be fair, it's this Ladash. That's the situation's a little bit different. So you're just like,
it's basically just this Ladash. Well, Nori doesn't know that yet, so she's probably not on much. Because knowing this, it was an open like proposal that Bryn like took and was like, yeah, sure. And then later she marries Nori. Nori has no clue about any of this. This could be
oh, it's gonna be fun.
both timelines.
It's,
So she doesn't know.
yeah, it's gonna be fun to go back and see Ladash again and be like, hey, my wife's here. and,
What?
then Bryn's just like, I forgot about that. Oh shit! And turns to Nori, and Nori's just like,
Whoa. You said wife.
well, that's what he thinks, that you're coming back to get married.
Oh, fuck, you're okay. Oh, shit.
So I
One
mean,
of our party members fathered a child in the town. The other one married the leader.
you guys are just becoming super embedded. But Amric and Polly, how do you guys feel about Ladash?
I don't think Polly knows who he is.
No, he's never met him.
Yeah. So never
I
mind.
can't remember if Amric has met like because we definitely didn't meet on the island.
Well,
Amric
Amric
hasn't met him either.
You sure?
If I met Ladash, it was like really quick.
I'm pretty sure it was just on the island that they forgot about. Once
Okay.
with the bear guy.
Gotcha. All right. Well, should be fun to have new interactions. I mean, Ladash is definitely going to take differently to Amric now.
Everybody's going to take differently to Amric now.
Yeah, but Ladash
Yeah.
is probably one of the few people you have to worry about, and more just.
I
be like,
still look Goliath, probably trying to technically without the robot part. Ignore
Rachel
that.
didn't recognize you,
I look like
buddy.
him. It's gonna be so hard to explain when I go home.
And Rachel was just like, Amric? Once someone finally said his name. But, alrighty then. Well, thank you all for hanging out with me. Some fun conversations. As far as everything goes,
Wait, Bryn never got grilled.
well, we know how Bryn feels about Ladash.
Fuck you, Nori.
But fine, since the wife has spoken
Well,
up.
apparently I'm gonna go get married to Ladash now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean,
I'm taking all the money in the divorce.
So Bryn, how does Bryn feel about Ladash?
She likes him. I mean, she
Obviously.
hasn't. I know, right? She hasn't spent that much time with him though to be like, would I actually marry him if Nori and I did split up or something happened? Like, hasn't been that much interaction technically.
Well, you're really devoted to this soulmate thing, aren't you?
I know, right?
I
Soulmates
am
die.
deeply
and
hurt.
You gotta move on now.
That sounds like
ouch.
Bryn's like, if we're not married by the time we're this age.
Right? Exactly. I don't know. Nori and Bryn haven't discussed polyamory and all that crap like Ladash has done on his island. So
Ladash got a couple wives. Bryn's got a wife and a husband. Like,
just gotta have it all, you know.
all right.
I'm
Well-
not looking real forward to it, but it'll be interesting on what happens.
You still fully dodged the question.
That's how Bryn
Bryn
does.
likes him. Bryn likes him. Like she thinks he's a good guy and that he's doing what he has to do for his people, but
Forget he strangled her.
In the middle of
secret
the night,
fifth
it's just
thing
like
she has taught.
slowly tightens.
In her sleep.
Yep. The real reason that she took the metal arm was like, can I pin Bryn down now? So that way she can't move as Spaghetti strangles her. Because she would beat me in any other strength check. I need this.
Hey, I outrolled Bryn several times on strength checks recently, and I'm proud of that fact.
Yeah, so you might be able to take the assassination plot in like a year and a half.
Don't worry. Just get the
I just need to
insurance
focus on
now
getting
so it doesn't
buff.
look
Oh,
conspicuous.
now that now that Sigrun's gone, what does the tattoo look like? Because she had fixed that like gap
Yeah.
on at least the soulmate one.
You'd have to.
Ah,
I'd say you guys got
Tell me,
a long.
please.
You got a long rest, so that would have given you time to take off the armor, check things out as sort of like a. Oh shit! And since I believe that one's on the side, it wouldn't be too hard to check it. The entire portion that is cut is still light blue. Because it was not her that did it, it was Illidanate.
that makes me feel better.
Yep. Funny enough, it was a part of the ruse of Illidanate possibly being dead. That specific tattoo was broken. So, he had to sell it to everyone. And that's why Polly's mom didn't say anything to him. Because for it all to work out, everyone had to believe he was either on death's door or dead completely. Even his followers.
You did a great job.
But with that, up, down, left, right, smiles, happy, and Bryn possibly getting a husband when she meets Ladash. Thank you all for being with me, guys. Session 1 for Group 2 tomorrow, 9:30. Should be fun, hilarious. Some people have changed as far as their characters inside the game. Tamerlane's still strong.
Woo!
But pretty much everyone else has either changed class or changed characters completely. So it's going to be sort of a new group getting together, but with the same players. So it should be fun.
Yeah, no more Nyx.
No more Nyx. Madronix is gone. No more Dragonborn. But
He
there's
might be a Dragonborn, but we don't know yet.
oh no, he's Tabaxi.
Oh, okay.
Yep, another cat person. So it should be fun. And if not that, then Monday we come back again. Our session going on and the trial getting further and further completed. So should be fun. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with me tonight. And everyone have a good night.
Night.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Night.